Parents, Paw Patrol The Mighty Movie is coming to theaters on September 29th. When a magical meteor crash lands in Adventure City, it gives the Paw Patrol pups superpowers. Holy smokes. But things take a turn for the worse when Humdinger breaks out of jail to steal their superpowers. Oh dear. Will the mighty pups be able to save Adventure City before it's too late? Oh, mark your calendars to see Paw Patrol The Mighty Movie in theaters on September 29th.
Hello, Critter Protectors. Mr. Jim here, and welcome to Kids Animal Stories, a place where there's always a mystery and adventure around every single corner. If you love critters of all shapes and sizes, I need you on our Critter Protector team. Join our adventure as we learn about critters from around the world and in our backyards. Well, my friends, are you ready for today's adventure? Me too, let's go!
On the last episode, we met our mystery animal, Graham, and his whole family or troop. Remember, something kind of crazy happened and they had to get out of there fast. To listen to the clues of figuring out who Graham is, make sure that you've listened to part 1. But let's see what happens next. Graham, our mystery animal, just had the scare of a lifetime. His mom woke him up in the middle of the night in a panic, and his entire troop was in danger. As soon as they got to safety, all of the grown-ups, including Silverback, their leader, realized they were missing 2 members. Mom, what are they going to do? Who is missing? Graham was anxious to know some details. Shh, Graham, it's not your concern. Silverback is worried about going back for the ones we lost, Graham's mom said. Graham couldn't believe it. Why wouldn't he want to go back? Isn't that what leaders do? But Mom, who's missing? Graham asked again. Graham, I'm very sad to say it's Gia and her mother, Miss Mona, his mom said. What? No, that can't be. We have to go back. We have to. Graham began to cry. He was very sad that his friends were the ones missing. If Silverback wasn't going to go back for them, Graham decided this was his chance to grow up and do something that mattered. Silverback, I volunteer to go find our lost troop members. Now's my chance to prove myself, Graham bravely said to Silverback.
Fine. It's at your own risk, though, Graham,
Silverback replied. That night, Graham tried to make a plan. He assured his mother that he would be okay, hugged her goodbye, and headed out into the night. Be careful, Graham, his mother shouted as he disappeared into the bushes. Graham walked for hours and swung on low branches from time to time. Used his keen sense of smell to get any kind of trace of Gia or her mother. He used his strong arms to push his way through the dense forest floor. Strong arms. What kind of animals have strong arms that they can swing from branch to branch? I don't remember things being so tricky to get through, he thought to himself. Then he realized why. Up ahead, he could see a steep cliff. He realized the path he had chosen must have been a mudslide or something from a long time ago. The entire path was covered in fallen trees. Phew, I didn't realize I was going a different way. Why did I even go this way to begin with? And then it all made sense. The smell! Remember, he was tracking something with his smell or someone without even really knowing it. I guess I was following a trail all this time. I have to keep at it. I think it's Gia, he thought, and pushed forward through the ruins of the trees. As he tracked the scent, it started to become stronger and more familiar. You know, one thing Graham and his species are good at is detecting strong odors. They can determine if it's something from another animal or another species. That has to be them. Then from a few yards away, he could hear Gia. She was crying and calling for help.
Someone help us, please,
Gia called. Graham started to run. He pushed off the ground with his strong arms. It was almost like he was flying through the air. His leaps were so far. As Graham came up to Gia, he saw the devastating problem. Gia was clung to her mother, who was lying motionless in a trap.
Mona! Miss Mona, wake up!
Graham shook Gia's mother, and as he did, her eyes slowly opened.
Graham? Is that you?
She whispered.
Yes, it is. I'm gonna get you out of here. Just stay still.
He dashed over to one of the fallen trees and broke off the largest branch he could manage. He carried it back effortlessly and stuck it deep into the trap that was clung to Miss Mona's leg.
1, 2, 3.
Graham pressed down on the stick and the snare broke open. Miss Mona's leg was free. What happened to you two? How did you get down here? Graham asked.
We started to fall behind in the night, and then got turned around. When we headed down this ravine, we were surrounded by darkness, and then we made our way accidentally into this trap.
Graham had heard about these traps when he was really young. Critters called hunters sometimes made their way up the mountain to try and catch other meat. They aren't there to hunt Graham's troop, but they still pose a threat like this one did for Gia and Miss Mona. Graham managed to help Gia and Miss Mona back up the deep, steep slope. They moved very slowly, and Graham tried to help hold Miss Mona's arm as they limped along. As they talked, it became clear that the sounds and commotion of the other night was indeed hunters, making their way further up into the mountains. When Graham safely returned with Gia and Miss Mona, the troop was so excited. It hadn't even been a full 24 hours, and all three were back in one piece, thanks to Graham. Silverback congratulated Graham for his bravery and told him he had earned an honorary junior leader status in the troop. This was a big deal. When Graham settled down to sleep, he realized something. Through this whole series of events, he'd done some major growing up. Although he was happy to be done with the dangerous type of excitement from the day's events, he was actually ready for this new adventure of being older. So, friends, that may be the end of our story, but do you have any guesses of what species Graham is? We heard a lot of clues along the way. Mountain dwellers, thick, long hair. They ride on their mom's back and take a few years to grow up. They are strong, eat lots of plants, make many big sounds, and have strong arms that pound on their chest. Oh, and their leader is called a silverback. Who guessed it? Yes, it's a mountain gorilla. Graham and his whole troop are all mountain gorillas. Great job, critter protectors. Great job, you listened all the way to the end, and you know what time it is. It's time for some Critter Protector shoutouts. I want to say hey to Foster from Arizona, Carter from Maryland, Gabriel from California, Gabe from California, Una from California, and David and Ava from Maryland. I'm so glad that you're all Critter Protectors. We could not protect all the critters in the world and in our backyards without you, my friends. You have a super duper day, and I'll see you next time. Bye!